perform a few flicks of the string. That up ahead looks like a good spot to stop. Let's rest for a bit. Make sure you keep your weapons at the ready. You never know when we're going to need them in a place like this. Can never be too careful. Remember, if we are happened upon by any strange travelers, I am a rogue looking for work with a blade in Undercity. You are a hunter with your trusty bear companion. You are a bow for hire. Right. Of course, we don't want anyone to know that I'm actually a paladin and you are, well, indeed a hunter, but not for hire. By these types of folk, at least. Well, before we continue on our road to Undercity, we need to make sure that we check our inventory and make sure we have the proper equipment necessary. Remember the plan. We are emissaries, and we have a mission of diplomacy to Undercity. But, as I'm sure you're aware with this type of assignment, Undercity is known for treating their emissaries rather unkindly. So we need to make sure that we are prepared for the worst, if necessary. So I'm just going to check the packs and make sure that we don't need to stop at a village to refresh our equipment before we continue. Right. Well, before we continue, let me utilize my holy light to refresh any wounds that you might have sustained through our treacherous journey thus far. Hold still if you can. I'm just going to guide the holy light around your head. Try to relax. And please keep your bear at bay. Now is not the time for any unnecessary movements. Bask in the light, and we'll do the rest. Good. All right. How do you feel? Good. Make sure we don't have anyone following before we get our equipment and our supplies out and vulnerable. So let's check the potion pack first. Just let me take a rummage here through the pack. Oh, there we are. Health potions. Perfect. 2 health potions. Well, it's not the ideal amount, but it will have to do. Looks like we haven't delved into the supply too much yet. I know you had to take a quick sip a few days ago after that dire wolf attack, but luckily, with your bear's help and the strike of my sword, it didn't require too much. It's peculiar how a simple tincture like this can do so much for the body. In, of course, the paladin training I've sustained, we don't often have much need for potions like these, but it's always smart to carry a few with you. You never know when you will exhaust your mana pools and require healing the good old-fashioned way. And of course, when traveling with a companion like yourself, it's always wise to carry a few potions with us. your bear won't need any of these. I've brought some cured meats that I will have at the ready in case it needs to refresh itself before battle. So, maybe we should pick up a few potions at the next village we see, just to be safe. Now, with that in mind, with your bear's attack, I should remind you that our mission is one of diplomacy, and we should only attack if absolutely in need of defense and to provide ourselves escape. Hopefully, this time around, the Banshee Queen herself will look more fondly upon emissaries looking for peace, and of course, if not, then we will fight our way out. But that's only a last resort. Now let's check our mana potion stores. There we are. 2 mana potions as well. It looks like you packed in pairs. Better than nothing, I assume, but still, we might want to, similar to the health potions, pick up a couple at the next village. With my holy spells and my protection auras and seals, oftentimes mana can run quite low, especially when trying to heal and protect another aside from myself, so it's wise to carry more than a couple. So it's a good thing we checked, because we're definitely going to need to purchase a few. And true, if I need to heal your bear, I will require even further mana use, and yourself for utilizing your hunter skills. I know your adeptness with the bow is well told in these regions, but even a skilled marksman like yourself oftentimes needs to rely on a spell or two. So, I think sharing just 2 mana potions between the 2 of us would be quite unwise. The corks look to be in good shape after such a long travel, so that is a bit of good news. I would say we have just over a day's travel left to Undercity, so I'm sure that we will pass a village along the way. We'll make sure that we have enough gold before we get there. Let me go ahead and check that. I'll place these 2 mana potions back into the pouch. Alright, let's check our gold storage. If you wouldn't mind handing me the gold pouch. Thank you. Alright, well, it looks like we do have a bit more coin left. Now, this is not only for purchasing a few more potions and things of that nature, but you never know when dealing with the legions of the Horde. You never know when a bribe will be necessary, so we would be wise to make sure that we have enough coin upon entering Undercity. You never know when we need to loose a few gold coins from our pouch to get by a guard at the front gate, or just to convince that treacherous Banshee Queen to let us go about our way once we have delivered our message and performed our diplomatic duties. And you never know. Perhaps this will be the time that the light smiles upon us, and we are offered a night's stay in Undercity, and we can purchase the finest room in one of their inns. But yes, that might be lofty, hopeful goals there. But aside from all of that, it's just wise to carry extra gold for any sort of purchases. So let me try to determine how much gold we have inside the pouch without opening it. It's never wise to flaunt how much gold you have out in the open on these dangerous paths. You never know who's watching from a nearby tree, hiding in a bush, or lurking in the shadows. Feels like we have a decent amount, but we should ensure that we don't spend too much refilling our supplies at the village, only the necessities. So do be mindful of your bear's snout and its tendency to think with its stomach when we are passing those food stalls they likely have in any common village. Alright, well, I think we should have enough for at least 2 health potions and 2 mana potions, as well as anything we'll need in Undercity. Now, most importantly, before we feed your bear companion, I know. Let's check your weapon and make sure that it's not in need of a visit to the blacksmith. Alright, your bow, please. A fine piece of craftsmanship. Your willow bow. You have felled many a beast with this trusty companion. I've been fortunate enough to bear witness to many of your slayings in the name of the light and of the Alliance. And I hope that we will not require its accuracy in the coming days. But if we do, then I feel confident with you wielding this at my side. I'm just going to run a quick check up and down the wood of the bow to make sure that there aren't any cracks or damaged spots that will show themselves at the least opportune time. You never want to find out that you have an issue with your bow when you draw back on a hostile orc or troll, only to find out that your bow is indeed in need of repair. But that is why you travel with an experienced adventurer like myself, to remind you of these things. It looks like the light has smiled upon us. Once again, your bow seems to be in good shape. You've taken excellent care of it, like I would have expected from a marksman, hunter such as yourself. You never fail to impress with the care that you take for the instruments of your expertise. Now, before we continue, I just need to check the tautness of the string, the most important aspect of a bow. I'm just going to perform a few flicks of the string to make sure that everything is as it should be. Of course, when you are testing string tautness on a bow like this, a recurve wooden bow, you never want to pull back and actually put pressure on the wood of the bow without an arrow knocked, for that can cause severe and irreversible damage. I'm simply strumming the string just to listen to the hum and the reverberation of its sound. That will tell us all we need to know. All right. I think your bow is ready and willing to see an arrow into a foe at your command. If we are unfortunate enough to need such action, it will be ready. Now, your arrows, please. Let me see the stock of your quiver. Well, it's good that we checked your supply, because it looks like 3 arrows are all that you have left. And I don't think I need to explain to you that in case we are forced to use less diplomatic methods to escape Undercity, 3 arrows will not be nearly enough. But we can at least ensure that the arrows that you do possess are of high quality. The feathers on your arrow have definitely seen some wear and some heavy use. The fletching could use some work. Especially arrows like this. You can tell that you've used this on beasts and humanoid foes alike. The wear on the fletching demonstrates its use in battle. And since this arrow is indeed still in your quiver, I can tell that it's been successful in its hunt, since you were able to retrieve it from a downed foe. A sign of a successful hunter, no doubt. Arrows like this can still be used, but we should have it refletched, if possible, before our entrance into Undercity. The rest of the arrows seem to be in decent shape, suitable for flight, and ready for a clean kill. Let's further inspect your quiver to ensure that it's suitable. Kodo leather, I see. It's definitely seen use in the elements, but Kodo leather is well renowned for its ability to withstand even the harshest of climates, and even the most active of hunters, which you most certainly are. It seems fit for the remainder of our journey, and a vicious and noble fight, if necessary. But we should plan to purchase a few additional arrows in a village before entrance. Now, before I forget, I'm going to reach into the pack for one more item. The cured meat that I promised your faithful bear companion. I knew that I would have the pleasure to travel with you again on this assignment, and I packed accordingly. I've grown accustomed to having your bear with us on our travels, and I wanted to make sure that I came ready to provide it the sustenance it needs for any battle that might lie ahead. That way you don't have to utilize your supplies. Yes, you know me too well. And guessed correctly, Goldshire sausage. I knew your bear was fond of the meats from that village, so I had some delivered to me in Stormwind. But let's not keep your bear waiting any longer. I have a few pieces coming right up. There you are, my friend. Enjoy. It's definitely enjoying that, eating it about as quickly as I can. Cut. There you are, friend. One more, it looks like. There you are. Why not take the rest? And with that, it looks like we should resume our travels. Are you ready? Be on the lookout for a village to restock on those supplies. And have your weapon at the ready. Alright. Keep your eyes peeled.